Gonna get cancelled.
Good evening and welcome back to the Charlton Chronicles. Sorry we're a little bit late. I had a few technical issues and I couldn't hear anyone again. Good evening and welcome. And to our new Kenyan friends, I'd like to say Habari na Karibu. So I'm sorry if that sounds terrible, but I am from London, so what do you expect? But hello and welcome. As you can see tonight, if you are new to the show and you haven't seen us before, thank you for tuning in. And so I'll introduce everyone. So I'd like to introduce Paul, who's next to me at the top there. Callum next to him. Bottom left of your screen, you have the lovely Tyler. And bottom right of the screen, for those of you who've been on before, would recognise Kieran. But Kieran is going to be a new addition to the team who will be joining us most Sunday evenings. So please make him feel welcome. And Kieran, it's really good to have you on board.
Thank you very much.
So, Paul, I'll start with you. How are you?
Great, Emma, thanks. Yeah, really enjoyed yesterday. Great away day, almost perfect, but really tidy point. And good to see everybody, and everyone was in good voice. So, apart from the rail replacement stuff, it was almost a perfect away day.
Yeah, and Callum, how are you, mate?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm recovered from this morning, so that's good. But yeah, the rail replacement bus, it's at 7:30 with a bunch of Eastern European Southampton fans. Seeing aimlessly was pretty painful, but there was a spoon outside Eastleigh Station, so you know.
And Tyler, you looked a bit worse for wear when I saw you yesterday going up the stairs. How are you feeling today, mate?
Yeah, good. Another successful away trip. I'm still unbeaten this season, which is great. Echo the rail replacement stuff. That was stupid. Luckily, Uber mitigated that for us. But yeah, good. Stayed in the concourse and the finishing off mid-pint. Took ages to get the pints in. Didn't finish mid-pint. Missed both goals and come up the stairs just as we scored. But yeah, successful day. Take the point. Mega.
Lovely. And Kieran, welcome to the Charlton Chronicles team. Lovely to have you on board. How you doing, mate?
I'm good. Unfortunately, I've missed the last couple of home games and couldn't get to Southampton because I've been ridiculously busy. But I'm generally happy with our form. I think we've had a good win at Stoke. QPR was a good night, goalless, but a good night nonetheless. And then it was a good point away yesterday, so I'm quite happy with how we're doing at the moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll go through some comments in the chat. So Rob is in there. Good evening. Good evening to Chris, who's also happy that me and Tyler are back. Good evening to other Chris. Good evening to Matt. Good evening to Tom. Good evening to our third Chris. Good evening to Ian and James. Good evening to Soph. Good evening to Jules as well. Tyler, Chris said that was all the beers in the 80s before the game, wasn't it?
Sounds about right.
And to be honest, I had no troubles with the trains yesterday because I got a husband taxi, which is marvellous. So, and I just got drunk in spoons while we didn't. So before we go into the game, I think, to be honest, we've got to talk about the major talking point. You know, I've got to say, big up our Kenyan fans, because the Chronicles Twitter in the last day has achieved nearly 40 new followers. We've hit over 100,000 views on our last tweet and over 700 retweets. So we appreciate your love and support. Thank you for viewing and loving us. It's really appreciated. And I hope some of you guys will check in on the show and keep watching us as well. I don't know what the time is in Kenya, but I hope that you guys can either watch the show or you can catch up with us on YouTube after. But I think, obviously, the massive talking point, and I think, Callum, I'll come to you first. We've got to talk about the main man here, haven't we? We've got to give our Kenyan audience something to enjoy first. We've got to talk about Mr. Sichenje. I don't know if I say that right, but what did you make of his inclusion in the team yesterday, and what did you make of his performance?
Can we all get an amnesty on confusing Sichenje and Sichenje for the rest of this podcast, by the way? Because someone is going to mess it up.
Yeah, we are.
And they're too similar, and it's quite annoying. And I have to talk about Sichenje cackling Sichenje, so rest in peace, me. Yeah, I mean, I was surprised. I think we all probably were. But it made sense to shift Ramsey out to right wing back. It was very clear we were just going to sort of sit Cody basically playing, when I call him a 5.5, but he was definitely playing as an extra 5 yesterday, and just sort of sitting in there, basically making it 6 defenders. You needed someone out on Sichenje. He absolutely ripped Rob Apter to shreds at the Valley, and we couldn't let that happen again. Still got an assist, for God's sakes, despite that. But basically, you wanted someone who was big and strong, could sort of double up on him, and was quick enough to sort of cover that space, which Collins seemed to be. Could have got himself sent off in the first half. The ref was very lenient and got himself megged. But after that, I thought he played well. He really grew into it. The celebration on the goal was very, very nice. The interview at the end was quite funny. And when he was talking, his dad was saying Charlton is a massive club, and he clearly never heard of who the hell we were in the first place. But yeah, I thought he played well. Tactically, it sort of made sense to put someone in there, and the question was who else could go in there, with Burke still obviously being injured as always. There wasn't really anybody else to play there, so we had to come in. And to be honest with you, I saw a player in there. It's raw, but he can pound the ball. He can run around. He can, he can pass. He can head the ball quite well. He didn't look completely overawed by the occasion. So look, for 1.9 million, I think actually the scouting department, whoever it is, we know it's Phil Chappell, has done what seems to hopefully be a good job with him. But as I said, we have to be careful, and be careful with him, because he is going to probably make a few mistakes, and I would be surprised if he plays 10 games without getting a red card, because he looks like he's ready to launch himself into people half the time, which personally I respect.
Yeah, Paul, I'll come to you just to follow on from what Callum has said there. But for me, he looks like a proper old school, take no shit kind of defender. A bit like a harder version of Jason Pearce, but not quite a psycho Ryan Innes.
Nice happy medium, yeah, exactly.
That's a weird combination. If there are any Kenyans watching, Ryan Innes was an absolute nut job who nearly killed someone at what game was it? Wimbledon away. Yeah, he nearly broke the bloke's legs at Wimbledon away, and then claimed that he didn't touch him when I spoke to him. Paul, could you see that being, the back three going forward? Do you see that as a back three strong lineup with Collins in there now?
Yeah, I mean, it's difficult to say, isn't it, after the first game? But as Callum said, I thought we grew into it. I don't think he was sort of even a rabbit in the headlights to start with. He obviously showed some potential, and I think, as I said, he grew into the game. It's always difficult, isn't it, coming into a new league at a sort of high level with respect to the Serbian Super League. And yeah, I felt he imposed himself, very well. And he could well be. I think he showed that he's there, as Callum said, there's a player in there. I mean, you and I, Emma, saw on Facebook someone who sort of compared him to Richard Rufus, I think, which is obviously going some. If he gets anywhere near Richard Rufus's quality, certainly on-field quality, make that clear, then he's, he will be going some. But yeah, there was certainly showed some sort of flexibility, and he's certainly an athletic lad. But he's still a young boy, he's only, was he 22 or whatever? So he's obviously done a lot in his career already, played on different continents and what have you. So yeah, I think, I'd like to think he would be someone that could play with ease in a back three. But I think I'd go easy on him for now. I think, as I say, there was a lot of hype going into this. He didn't get on, I think, against Pompey. He was stripped and ready to go. But no, I think he did very well for his first start, particularly on what could have been a really difficult away game. Well, it was a very difficult away game, and all the defence were put under pressure. They all to a man played incredibly well, given that Saints had 70% of possession. They were kept very busy, as was Collins, and he did very well. He didn't look out of place. So yeah, lots of potential there going forward. So yeah, good debut.
Yeah, brilliant. Tyler, I'll come to you next, just really for your overall thoughts of the game. Obviously, I think before we went to St Mary's, I think if you'd have said to me, we'll take a point, I would have loved that, that would have been a perfect result for me, and probably against one of the most informed teams in the league at the moment as well. What did you make of the performance down there yesterday?
Yeah, good. It was a good reaction from the Portsmouth game, which was a shambles, as we rightfully know. We looked a lot more organised. It was obvious that Jones saw that 5-1 defeat to them earlier in the season and said, right, we can't play that open again. We've got to be tight. We've got to be compact. We've got to play like a unit and effectively defend for the whole game and try and hit them on the counter-attack because we know how strong Southampton are. I think I speak for Paul, Josh, Nick and everyone that was in the pub when we saw the lineup and saw Sichenje was included, and it gave us a bit more of an uplift. Like we was more raring to go and ready to see it now because we thought, he's our Kenyan boy. There's a bit of excitement around it. But yeah, I think first half we held our own quite nicely. Kaminsky made a couple of good saves. They obviously at the bar. Southampton were by far the better footballing side. You could tell whenever they hits on the counter, when they hits on the attack, they were strong. We kind of struggled to get really anything going forward. TC had a couple of runs down the left, but we didn't really offer all too much, but our defensive, it was mainly the defence, to be honest. I think defensively it was really, really solid. Midfield, again, was more well-drilled as well. Doherty got stuck in, a couple of other good performances in there. Amari Bell was outstanding, if I'm picking him out as an individual. Absolutely brilliant. Sichenje, I felt, was a little bit out of place in the first half, like people were saying, a bit raw, like he looked a little bit lost, but he kind of grew into the game, as we know. And yeah, second half, phenomenal header from Ross Stewart. That's a superb cross from Sichenje, and the header was brilliant. Nothing really Kaminsky can do about it. And I think from that point on, I think collectively most people would have gone, right, well, that's that then, because the way we've played lately, we're not going to score or haven't scored when we go from behind. And I was like, right, that's game over then. But Sonny Kerry, the boy, does it again. A little moment of magic, takes his chance, great goal. And then from there, I think we had a couple of good opportunities from there onwards. We didn't create a lot, but mainly it was just a great defensive, well-drilled performance. And like you said, I think if you'd have said we'd have got a point from that, I'd have bitten your hand for a point. So, yeah, fantastic result, really well drilled, great reaction from Pompey. And now we got a big game on Tuesday to lead us into, and we got some momentum behind us. So yeah, it was great to see. Great away day as well. Really good. Enjoyed it at Southampton.
Yeah, I think as well, going back to your Amari Bell comment, I think he had a bit of a stinker against Pompey, which was a bit of a rare thing for him. It's not something you'd expect from him, but to see him, for me, he's been my player of the season. I think the guy is absolutely outstanding. And to see him bounce back with that performance yesterday, I was really, really happy for him because I feel that he needed that after Tuesday's disaster, really. And Callum, you were right. It was him who crossed the ball. It wasn't Sichenje. So
it was that side.
Yeah.
Can I on that, Emma? Just too? Could you? I think probably some credit to Thomas as well, because Tuesday was a complete disaster, and there was a couple of punches. I know Nathan referenced it in the post-match presser, but those are two firm punches from a keeper that's not known for doing that. And the save the first half was very awkward. He made it look pretty easy, but it's a really awkward sort of shot. We almost have to move one leg inside the other to get there. So I thought he looked a lot more assured on Saturday, and so it's one of those where I think both of them had big bounce back performances, and I think they needed it.
Yeah, I'm actually going to come to you and Kieran next, because I think, there's one player, we were talking about it last night, Callum, and I think, you said to me, we'll talk about it tomorrow night. So we're going to talk about it because I know me and Tyler probably have a little bit of a different opinion to maybe you, Paul, and Kieran regarding this player, but we've got to talk about Tyrese Campbell. And I know it pains...
I know Paul agrees with me because I texted him yesterday.
I know.
I'm primed and ready to go. Carry on.
I think Tyler's words are League One fodder, and I would probably agree. I don't really see what he offered yesterday, and obviously I spoke to you, Callum. You kind of explained what you felt his role was, but I just see weakness. I see a lack of being able to jump for a ball, a lack of being able to put in a foot for a tackle. He can run. Again, there's no end product. Look, I like him as a person. Lovely lad, Tyrese. For me, he is a League One player. I'm going to leave it to you and Kieran to argue it out amongst yourself. So, Kieran, I'll come to you first because I know you've got Tyrese on Snapchat. So, I'll let you go first on this one.
Well, aside from him as a person, just looking purely at what I know of him on pitch and in training and stuff, he's banging on the training pitch, hat-tricks every game. He's technically a brilliant player, but I think from watching him, and he's right up close to me, he's about 6 yards away most of the time. And from watching him, he can run, he can play brilliantly until he gets to the edge of the penalty area and he goes, what do I do now? He's a brilliant technical football player, but I think the head and the maturity and the actual game sense to know how to play that final ball, to get that end product, as you say, which he isn't delivering consistently enough. He looks like a League One player when he gets to the edge of the penalty area. He does, and I admit that, and I understand that. He doesn't look fit, like sharp enough for it, if you understand what I mean. However, from a technical perspective and from an actual physical creating chances, I think he's been truly instrumental in the way we play. And I think we're not giving him enough credit for what he does do, for the tempo he brings to the games, for the runs he does make. We just look at the fact that he can't deliver a final ball very well or very consistently, because when he does do it well, it's brilliant. Look at he assisted Sonny Kerry a couple of times earlier in the season, and he can play brilliantly sometimes, but it's not consistent enough to where we all look at him and are immediately really harsh to judge. Like Stuart said in the game, he is an outlet. He can deliver. He can run the ball more than any of our other players can, because I don't think from a technical perspective, other than like Sonny Kerry and a couple of others, we just try and play hoofball because our players don't like it on the ground. We don't like making those runs. And although TC gets tired, he doesn't chase every time, and he doesn't always deliver that final ball as consistently as he should. He is still very important to our squad. I see why Nathan keeps putting him in there, and I see how we can't be so quick to just write him off as a League One player.
Some really great feedback there, actually, Kieran. Some really, really good feedback. Before I come to you, wait, Callum, wait. Be patient. Be patient. Tyler, do you want to come back with your view? Because I'd love to sort of hear your opinion of his performance, particularly yesterday.
I didn't think it was, to be fair to him, I didn't think it was awful. Personally, I thought it was one of them. I guess the way we set up to play it didn't necessarily suit his style, so to speak, considering that we didn't really push on much in the first half. And I think he come off. When did he come off? I think about 70th minute, last 20 to go. He come off. I think it was
65. I think it was about there. Yeah,
that was it. Yeah. But yeah, I think he drove. He drove the ball forward a couple of times and tried to stick balls into the box. It just potentially wasn't the right game for him. I wouldn't have started him against Southampton. I don't think he's I think I've said it so many times. I think he is way better off the bench against tired legs. And he can, we know it's frustrating with TC because I do actually like him. As much as I say that he's a League One player, which I do stand by, but I do actually like him, and I think he can offer something to this team, and I know what he can offer in this system as well. People say that we're not playing to his strengths in the right system. Not being funny, but he has played in this system for nearly 3 years now. Like, it's not as if he's going on that pitch and he doesn't know what his role is. Jones has moulded him into, this system and told him to play this certain way. So this isn't alien to him. So I don't think we can use that, unless you're playing him as a wing back. I don't think you can use it out of position excuse, because if you play him in the forward line, like, he's played this position for years now. I know what he can offer. It's just he doesn't do it consistently enough. And as Kieran rightly said, he can drive the ball forward. And in that aspect, I guess you could say he is one of the best attacking outlets. It's just when he gets to the penalty area, he gets this element of confusion and just that lack of confidence. Like, what do I do to take on my man? And it doesn't help that teams know what he's going to do because they double up on him. And you can argue, he doesn't really get much support either. But it's just some of the decision making. He can't really cross a ball. He doesn't have much confidence to cut inside on his right and bend a shot. He's getting better at that recently because he's obviously scored a great goal against Derby and had a great chance against Pompey, if I remember correctly. But I think he can, like I said, I think he can offer something to this team. It's just right now, I think his ceiling is League One, and I think he can develop, obviously, and Jones has got faith in him to do that. But I just think right now he's a bit too raw for this league. He's not strong enough, as you've said, Emma, and he doesn't produce the end product consistently enough. When a player of his quality and how many runs he pushes forward, he should be getting a lot more, for being honest. So that's where I stand with TC. Love the guy, I do love him, but it's just we need to see it in that more from a player of with the chances that he has had this season, which has been just frustrating.
Yeah,
if you don't mind, could I just pick up on something Tyler said quickly?
Yeah, go on.
you're saying about him being played as a left wing back, and funnily enough, at the QPR game, it was very frustrating on the touchline. TC sitting back, playing at left wing back, and I rightfully got very frustrated. The way you do, Emma, the way we all do. We're all football fans. We want us to play well. And I got rightfully frustrated, and I shouted, "TC, you're not a wing back. Get up!" Because the whole technical area is shouting at him to get up, fill the space, take men on, as he should be. He should be pulling them away. As much as he doesn't have the support, he should be pulling players out of the box, taking them on, and then making the pass. We're all shouting at him to get into the space. I've said he's not a wing back. And Danny Hilton, one of our assistant coaches, has just turned around to me and gone, "Yeah, he is, mate. We're playing it at wing back." Why are we playing it at wing back? Why are we doing that? And why am I getting stick for obviously seeing that he is playing out of position? That is a quote. I've gone, "TC, you're not a wing back." Danny's turned around and gone, "Yes, he is." It does not make sense to me. It doesn't make sense.
Thing is, if you stick him in that position and you use him in the attacking sense of what a wing back is, he can do it well because he can sprint down the left, cut inside. It's the defensive aspect which we know full well we can't do.
He can't defend. He's not strong enough.
Exactly. So he's that's baffling to me. I mean, I suppose they put him in that position for the whole attacking third of the game rather than the defensive, not realizing that as a wing back you've also got to dart back and defend, which we know he can't do.
But then the problem with playing him there is, like you say, he should be coming off the bench against tired legs. When he's tired, he does not run. He gets moody, he gets held up and he goes, "I don't want to move." And then we're all shouting at him to pick up the tempo like he should be. He does. He keeps that team moving quickly until he gets tired, until he decides he doesn't want to do it anymore. And he switches off. And he's so far back. If he came off late in the game against tired legs, like we're all suggesting, then maybe he could play at that wing back position. He can make those runs more consistently. He would have more energy to be able to do that. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, Callum, I'm about to come to you because I know you're probably itching to use your tactical insight. But I just want to say as well, there was one fantastic cross he put in yesterday, and it's one of the best crosses I've seen him put in. It's awareness for me with him as well. There was no one in the box. Hold off on the cross. Don't put that ball in the box. You're not aware of the players coming in to support you. He's put a fantastic cross in the box and there's no one there. So, again, it's tactical awareness for me. So, Callum, I will come to you with your wonderful tactical even, I've only had half a beer, knowledge.
Yeah, I think we're sort of conflating many different things here, and this is where it's tricky. Right, I think that there's good points being made by everybody. I think the one thing I would say, we talk about consistency. Charlie Kalman is 4 goals. He's a striker. We paid $3.5 million for. 2 of them were in 1 game. Right, he can barely get on the pitch at the moment because he's not impacting games at all. Miles Liban has 1 goal. Right, he's missed as many golden edge chances as he scored goals this year. Right, partially because players aren't playing him in, but he hasn't. Lyndon Dykes has 1 goal. Right, he has a couple of assists, and I like Lyndon. Godwin has no goals and can't stay fit. So we're talking about options here. It's not like I've got prime CR7 sat on the bench, that's itching to come on with this great youngster, right? We're talking now, and I know Emma and I are talking about, like, the reason why we haven't let him go to Brighton for stupid money is because we look at him and go, well, there might be the answer, right? And also because we can make more money off him than they're offering. But like the reason why we're in the position that we're in is we're sort of saying like it's like none of them are producing. Although Wafa had 1 goal, right? So it's the sort of thing. But you see what I'm trying to sort of say is that it's not like any of them are set in the world. Right? Actually, I'd probably exempt Lyndon Dykes from that conversation. Actually, because he's been pretty good since he's come in, and it doesn't mean that they've all actually been awful all the time, or they're all not good enough, or whatever it is. It's just that they're not consistent because none of them are proven championship goal scorers. Right? If I look at TC, if I just look at it yesterday, right, he had 1 job, which is we know that we're going to be hemmed in. I need you to drop into midfield every once in a while, which he was doing. So that's probably why it looked out of position at times, because he was almost playing as a left cam, right? It was almost we tried to do a bit of the Ruben Amorim system yesterday. We have 2 cams rather than 1 up front, rather than 2 forwards. So he was dropping in and basically playing as a hybrid 8 at times when they had the ball. So it was just to kind of stop the lines being passed through. And I think he did that job absolutely fine. It wasn't like Kaminsky was making loads and loads of saves because they were ripping us apart. But in terms of going to the outside, yeah, I mean, there's the double up question. Everybody knows he's the only pace we have. So they're going to double up. We also don't push whoever the left wing back is up high enough to help him out in that sense. The best times we've seen is when Chambers is pushed up, right? Because they have to stop Chambers from crossing the ball then because he has a filthy cross on him. So that allows TC to kind of run rounds, right? So you saw that in the home game. What was it? Was it Pompey's second half? Where we actually started to create a couple of things was because we basically had that pushed up because we were chasing the game. But for me, he was there to be an outball. If the ball's on the turnover, he goes. He did that. He was there to sort of defend. He did that, in terms of just being a man in there. Right? If we're talking about him as a left wing back, of course he's not good enough to be a left wing back. If we're talking about him as a primary striker going forward, no. Right? But he's also, 22? It's his first year in the Championship. And you say he's played in this thing for almost 3 years. Well, for half the time, the first half of Nathan Jones' season, he didn't play. Right? He barely played that first 6 months. He's not really, it's one of those where it's like a lot of these players are taking steps up. I still think Miles is on the cusp of getting there, right? But he started against Portsmouth and was dreadful, right? So that's the sort of thing where it's like, with a lot of these players, it's best for a bad bunch at the moment in terms of what we're playing up front. I would be a little bit worried, as I say, if I had a proven Championship goal scorer and I was playing TC instead of him. But you're trying to sort of, I think, find a matchup that works. And then just to make the point, like, nobody's run more miles than TC this season either. And the thing that really drives me nuts is when people point at the stats and go, but this person's played X number of minutes less. It's like, well, yeah, because TC spends half the damn season at left wing back because we didn't buy a backup one, right? So a lot of the things, why is he playing at left wing back? Because we didn't get the squad building right in the summer, right? And now we've sort of Frankensteined it back together. But like these are the players that pay for it. I'm not asking him to develop into a proper championship left wing back. I'm asking him to play there because other than Amari Bell, he's the only player that has any semblance of a left foot. And Greg Doherty, to be fair, but he's a midfielder. He's not playing at wing back. Run over.
Yeah, no, I think you've made some really good points there. To be fair, and I think TC sometimes it's just a bit of a frustration thing I have with him because I know he can do so much more. And
I agree. His material is anything. It drives everyone all the nuts, I think.
And that is my frustration. I just feel he could be stronger. He's not, all right, he's small, but he's quite stocky. He's not a skinny little thing. He's not Dan Carnu-esque. But, he's got the body strength there. He needs to start using it a bit more. He falls over a little bit too easy, in my opinion. But we'll start talking about some of the other players because obviously we've got to do our West Brom preview as well. So, Paul, I'll come to you about. We've kind of gone over the back three, so let's talk about Luke Chambers. And to be honest, I was very pleased to see Kane Ramsey back at wing back, which I think is more his natural position. Yeah. But I still think there is. I know you spoke about Kane last week, Callum, when on the show then, but I'm still probably not seeing enough from him. Maybe the Kane that I saw last season. So, what do you think's going on there with him right now?
Well, I think we touched on it, didn't we, on Wednesday, really, about the fact that he's come up a level. He was sort of a Rolls Royce. He was kind of the Amari Bell of League One, if you like. He was like a Ferrari. He found it quite easy. He's come up a level, and his athleticism, which was getting him out of situations last year, possibly at certain times. Mm-hmm. He's coming up against people who are as athletic as he is, if not more. So it then comes down to, game understanding, positioning, making the right runs at the right time. So I think there's been an element of, him sort of finding it a little bit more difficult to impose himself. And we spoke again last time about the Millwall sending off because he started the season very well. I think the Bristol City away game was mentioned in particular as a particular example of how he excelled. And then he got sent off at Millwall. It was a city challenge. He knows that. And he felt it. He knows what he really gets Charlton. He gets what the fans feel. As you know, he always meets the fans afterwards, his family, I think his family quite well. So he really cares. And I think it really affected him. So it kind of knocked him off his stride. I think he's finally starting to get back to sort of the Kane we sort of know and love. And I think you're right, playing that sort of right wing back. It's that square peg in a square hole cliche again. I think he really settles. He likes that position basically. And again, I think he played incredibly well yesterday. So yeah, I think as I say, as we said before, you put people in the right positions to succeed, and they're usually going to succeed. And he succeeded. And as I say, hopefully that's a good sign for the rest of the season.
Yeah, and how impressed have you been with Chambers' performances so far this season?
Yeah, I think really from the first half he played against Millwall, I think he's shown that he's clearly got, good ability. He's obviously been schooled in the right way at Liverpool, come through the academy, had those loan spells at Wigan, I think perhaps elsewhere as well. So yeah, he's come in and done a really good job. Played, as we saw, really well at Leicester. Set up the Dykes goal with that diamond of cross. And again, it was a tough assignment yesterday for him. And I think he acquitted himself incredibly well. He doesn't look out of place. He's still a young lad, he's still building his career. And stepped up to the Championship, and he's really starting to excel, I think. And we're showing, you would expect that from a guy that's come from Liverpool. Well, I say that. I mean, we go back to TC. If I can just digress very slightly, Emma. A very lame comparison with TC would probably be Liam Miller. You remember we had him on loan with, I think, Ian Martson as well from Chelsea in 2021 season, the season without fans. And Liam was great at getting up the field, but as soon as he got to the final third, he panicked. And it was that sort of thing. So he came from Liverpool, and that was not exactly a success story because they shipped off to Basel, I think, at the end of that season. But certainly Luke's showing all the good traits of being in that Liverpool academy and got all the right habits. And yeah, he's, as I say, it's not a given that he comes from that environment and steps right into Championship football like he's to the manor born. But he's really done that, as I say, from that first half against Millwall, and then he's carried on the position. He looked great yesterday. It was a tricky game. They had all that possession, and again, he didn't look out of place. Can't recall any times where I thought where I had any sharp intakes of breath where I was maybe panicking for him. But no, he's just continued to progress, which is great for him.
Yeah. Someone who I actually forgot to mention, and I must talk about, who had an absolutely outstanding game yesterday. Kieran, I'll come to you. I know you wasn't at the game, but I've got to talk about Lloyd Jones really, because I think he made 31 headed clearances yesterday, headed defensive clearances, we'll say, but he was slightly at fault for their goal. I've got to get a little negative in there because it wouldn't be Emma if I didn't. But how instrumental has this guy been to our season? Really, he's been fantastic, hasn't he?
Yeah, Lloyd Jones is always brilliant. So he made 21 defensive contributions.
Was it 21?
Yesterday.
I thought it was 31. Sorry, my bad.
He cleared one ball off the line. He made 4 blocks. He made 15 clearances, 11 headers, and 1 recovery. So he was really instrumental in our defence, as he always is. He has been all season. And I think until he's fully unable to play football, I think he will be pretty essential in our defence. He's a brilliant player. His work rate is great. He always keeps his head up. When he's hurt, when he's ill, whatever's going on with him, he just gets properly stuck in. And I respect him for it. He's had some awful sort of bumps this season that would take any of our other players out. And look, as much as Nathan doesn't let him come off, he doesn't put up too much of a fight. He just properly cracks on, And I think he's playing good football. He's doing his job, and that's enough said, really. He just is solid, Absolute lamppost in defence. It's what we need here, Charlton.
Yeah, and I mean, the goal line clearance yesterday was outstanding, and he really saved our arse there. Tyler, I'll come to you because I can't talk about the man because I might cry because I love him so much. My fellow Ginge, Sonny, the goat Kerry. Look, what? I'm not going to start singing. Kieran can sing if he likes. But look, what this guy was getting battered after the last game for being greedy and trying to, not passing the ball enough. Yeah, maybe sometimes he is. I think I tried to defend him a little bit by saying, well, our strikers are not really doing anything. Maybe he feels he has to have a pop. And I think that's a discussion that me and Callum were having as well. But once again, he produces the goods that when we need him, doesn't he?
He's a difference maker, innit? Just pops up when you need him the most. And to be fair, you make the points there about him not passing the ball enough. To be fair, I've been one of those that have had that critical opinion of him, to be fair. I mean, to be honest, since he scored that winner against West Brom, I think, I mean, again, we're talking months back now, but his performance levels have noticeably dropped from the start of the season, and that's maybe because teams have started to nullify him. And, I mean, the overall squad's form had dropped, but I think I noticed him dropping off more than the most. But that's the thing with Sonny. I mean, he can pop up with, a wonder goal. I mean, all 8 of his goals this season have been fantastic finishes. I mean, the keeper should be doing a lot better, if we're being honest, for the goal. But, I mean, to have the confidence to shoot through that crowd of players on the edge of the box and for it to creep its way in, I mean, this is exactly why he's our top goal scorer. And I do love Sonny. He's absolutely fantastic. But, yeah, I think the criticism, to be honest, of him, sometimes he can get a little bit too greedy, and some decision making is perhaps not there. I mean, there's been a couple of chances where he could have played in one of his teammates and had a better chance to score. But I think I think he'll learn that as his time with us grows. But yeah, I mean, I can't really say a bad word about him, to be honest, or a massively bad word about him for this season, because he's been phenomenal. The goals he scored has been highly influential, and he's starting to now get back to the Sonny that we knew at the start of the season. So yeah, thanks for saving our asses and getting a point and sending the away and into Bedlam. That was great scenes. Love Sonny.
Yeah, and I think as well, coming back to him, I think I've lost my train of thought. How long has it been since we've had a good goal scoring midfielder? It's what we've been wanting for so long, and he's blatantly probably going to end up our top scorer this season, which is incredible for him. And I really do hope he hits double figures, which, if he carries on going the way he is, which he should absolutely do.
Emma, I hate to interrupt. I hate to break it to you, but the man himself says he's not ginger. He's Auburn.
No, that's what he said to me. I'm not having it. I've met his mum and his sister, and I can confirm they are both ginger. Right now, you can say Auburn,
just mentioning it, just leaving it there.
But I wasn't always this light. Right, there's a lot of grey mixed in with this now.
Strawberry blonde.
It's not strawberry blonde, like Louis Mendes. Now, Louis, I know you follow the Chronicles. I'm talking about you, Louis, from Charlton Live, has claimed he is ginger. Louis, you are not ginger, mate. You're definitely more blonde or strawberry blonde. You didn't reply to my comment, but I'm calling you out now. That's like saying Tyler's ginger. Tyler is not ginger, he's blonde. So, Louis, don't try and claim that you're Sonny Kerry's brother, because you're not. You're not ginger, mate. This is ginger, right? But Sonny is a little bit darker, but then I was darker when I was younger as well. So he will end up slightly lighter ginger like me. So he's ginger, all right?
Strawberry blonde.
Need to change Sonny's chant. I want Auburn here too.
Yeah.
I want Auburn here too.
This is the cutting edge football analysis people tune in.
Absolutely.
Obviously. This is so
This is
Nairobi
why-
to Mombasa. That's what they want. Anyway, carry on.
This is why people watch the Charlton Chronicles, for this kind of content. You don't get this anywhere else.
This is more important, honestly.
Yeah, I just want to reply to Tom.
Game's gone.
Steve and Sydney are okay. They're just not with us at the moment. Hopefully they'll be back soon. But yeah, that they are okay. I can guarantee you they're both fine. I spoke to them earlier. So Callum, I'll come to you. I want to talk about the other two. So Doc and obviously Connor Cody. Connor Cody with the most ridiculous fall from grace I've ever seen, with that fouled headbutt. It was ridiculous. Like, for anyone who's saying that he was headbutted, he was absolutely not. I was quite near the front. I was about 10 rows back. He fell over 9.9 for the dive. I will say I was literally crying with laughter, but that's what experience does for you. But I mean, he's been really solid in there, Callum, hasn't he?
Oh, I say it all the time. He's my favourite Scouse Rottweiler, and I mean that entirely as a compliment. I've never seen someone bark at people for 90 minutes and walk off was it Stoke? He walked off the pitch and did a little jig. And he'd just been absolutely berating people for an hour and a half. And I was like, I love this bloke. It is one of those things where in a game like that, I think you need someone to be almost a second manager out there barking at people. I say this in January. The reason we signed him is because it wasn't so much effort was missing in those months that we had all the injuries and everything else. The organisation was a mess. So you got someone out there who's literally barking at people. You stand here, you stand there, you go here, you shut up, you go there. I mean, I'm telling Lloyd Jones to basically go and do very nice things to himself when he was arguing with Kaminsky. I think it was against QPR, and you just sort of see Lloyd Jones go, huh? But you're sort of there going, look, I have 9 England caps. I have over 100 Premier League appearances. He's got a Premier League season. You have none of that. Be quiet. Was basically the point. And in that moment, he was right? And it's one of those things where you have someone who's come in. He's not captain. He's only here for however many months. But he's telling people where to be, where to stand, what to do. He's got a lovely way to pass on him. And Pompey had to double up on him, basically, in the game on Tuesday. And Southampton weren't willing to do that because the idea of the club of Southampton stature at the moment or whatever, doubling up on a midfielder at Charlton was a bit silly. So they were sort of like, we'll just let him be. But especially once Shea Charles came off, Cody was pretty instrumental in that middle bit. I call him a 5.5. So he's not quite a 5 playing centre-back, and he's not quite a 6 playing central defensive midfield. Yesterday he was a 5, and he was playing as basically an extra centre-back. And he just made it an absolute misery to try and get past him. On the dive, sometimes if you want to fight in a mud pit, you've got to climb into the mud, right? So if you have to do those sorts of things, if he gives the red, you've got an advantage. That's all Cody's thinking about. If he books me for simulation, I don't care. And we need that. Like, how many years have we missed just having a bit of an S-house, right? That's why I actually really like Danny Hilton, right? The guy couldn't run anymore. The ultimate S-house. And actually, we needed that last year.
He's great. He's the best.
But it's
dark
basically
arts, isn't it? That's what you want.
It's dark arts. But it's also, it's like, if he tells you to do something and you are whoever you are in that squad, again, maybe minus the goalkeeper, or maybe minus Murray Bell, to be fair to him as well, you're going to go and do it. and we need that. We need just that personality. And then he'll get in the dressing room and probably start joking around with you. It's like that really hard boss you have who they go for a pint with afterwards and is like the nicest person in the world, right? A lot of people react really well to that. And I think if you're Coventry, for example, I thought it was pretty good when he came on. You learn so much from watching someone like that just go about what they do. And I think I say it, and I can't believe I'm saying it, because I did not sort of sit there and think of him as this great sort of signing. You can ask Paul what my text said about him. But I think it's been pretty inspired, if I'm honest with you.
Yes.
Yeah, and what did you make of Doc's performance?
I actually thought it was very good. But that's a game that suits him. It's just breaking up the lines. He can do that all day, every day. But he actually had a couple of nice touches, which against Portsmouth, he couldn't get the ball on the ground. But actually, I thought yesterday that's a game that suits him massively. Where maybe next year, if he's a squad player, I'm not against it. Just in games like that where you can just break play up. And that's something that that you hope Corey Anderson's kind of watched. Because that's the sort of thing that he's very good at as well. So I thought he was good at what he does, Greg, yesterday.
Yeah, he gets stuck in, doesn't he? I like that. Paul, before we quickly move on to the West Brom game, quickly talk me through what you thought. Firstly, we've already talked about Tyrese, but what you thought about Lyndon's performance yesterday. And I actually thought Miles, we'll pick out Miles, because I thought he was outstanding when he came on.
He really was. Yeah, Lyndon was great. I mean, he's just been great. You know what I felt about when we signed Lyndon? I was really happy to see him. He's got so much experience, and he's just proved great with his flick-ons and just his all-round general play, making a nuisance of himself. But yeah, Miles I thought was excellent, really, really good. He just seems to be, I don't know what it is with Miles. He just seems to now, whereas he kind of struggling with the burdens, I suppose, whether it's imagined or whatever, with his dad and all the folklore and all the rest of it. Now he just really seems to be, he's fitted in. He seems like he wants to be there. I deserve to be here, basically. Whereas I didn't feel he had that. He had good aspects to his game, great feet, whatever, but he was always being sort of pushed about. And for a guy of 6'5", 6'6", whatever he is, he felt he should use his body more. And I guess again, part of that's experience, and he'll be learning that stuff from hints and tricks from Lyndon. And he's really come on. He literally came on yesterday. I thought he was very, very good. He sort of puts fear into defenders when he's in that sort of mood. And again, a bit like TC, we talked about, Kieran talked about TC's inconsistency, which is an excellent point, of course. And it's similar with Miles. He was always, he showed flashes where we never got, a whole package, maybe even a whole game. Whereas he seems to be, as time's gone on, he seems to have really started to impose himself. and as I say, looks like he thinks he deserves to be there. He's still obviously not being held by referees. I think a lot of them think, well, he's a big lad, so he must be the one that's fouling. I can't possibly give a foul in Miles's favour. So that you would imagine that would really get his goat, and I'm sure it does. But he's found a way of just channeling it now, and I think it seems to it bothers me. It looks like he's enjoying himself, is what I'm trying to say in a very roundabout way, Emma. And I think he was, to answer your question, he was excellent. And again, it all bodes well for not just for the rest of the season, but next season, hopefully beyond. He, as I say, he really looks like he deserves to be there, and he feels like he should be there, and that's all power to him.
Yeah, definitely. I just got to say, on the subject of Leeburn, a bit off topic here, but I don't know if anyone watched the Arsenal Spurs game.
I did.
Big up Arsenal, because my dad, bless him, he's up in heaven, but he was an Arsenal fan, and I really want him to win the Premier League for my dad. So I've got to say, I'm sure I saw Cole Leeburn sitting on the bench in the Arsenal Spurs game. Even Adam, my husband, said Cole Leeburn is sat there on the bench. And then Adam went to me, he's a Premier League analyst. So maybe it was Cole Leeburn. If anyone watched that, do tell me if that was actually Cole Leeburn sat on the bench.
I thought it was him as well.
It was him, yeah.
It was him, yeah.
It was him, yeah.
Was it him?
Yeah.
I say there are not many men of that size that, look like him. So... yeah, so there you go. I saw Cole Leeburn sitting on the bench. But we will move on to the West Brom game. Obviously, we're making the trip up to a very troubled Baggies on Tuesday night, where obviously it's a massive game for us. It's a must-win, really. It's another 6-pointer. West Brom are banging trouble. There's no excuse for this game. We have to go there and we have to win it. We have to. A point, in my opinion, isn't going to be enough. I feel we have to go there. We've got to get the 3 points to try and get, our safety better and better and more. We've got to get to safety. So it's a must-win game for me. Kieran, I'll come to you first. What would you keep the lineup roughly the same as yesterday, or would you like to see something different?
Really quickly. Sorry, we're just going to have a technical break. Circling back to Danny Hilton shithousing at the QPR game, according to my official calculation, he swore 72 times within the first half. And Nathan Jones, in that same time, that I heard, swore 156 times during that game.
That is impressive.
You don't get that on Fault Mob, Kieran.
Yeah, you don't get that.
If you remember Kieran's last appearance on the Chronicles, because he sits behind the dugout, for those of you that haven't seen Kieran's last appearance, he said he would tell us how many times that they swore, and that is a ridiculous.
I will try and count.
That is a ridiculous amount. Well done, Danny Hilton. What a fella. Josh would love that if he's watching. He is Danny Hilton's biggest fan.
I do love that. He's so funny. He shithouses me. He shithouses other people in the crowd. Like, if someone gets up and starts trying to give Nathan grief, Danny starts quipping at them, and we start giving them cheers from me and Danny, over towards fans, booing and stuff. It's so funny. What's Hilton's favourite swear word? I don't think I can say that on television legally. I actually don't think you're allowed to say that one. But I'll see you on Tuesday, if that's any help.
Next Tuesday.
If that's any help. So yeah, I'll see you next Tuesday at West Brom. Back to the lineups after that brief technical analysis. Back to the lineups. I think we're playing good football. I talked a lot about the confusion, and I think across the whole fan base, I think we were confused. I think there was a lack of vision, and I think after January we have a lot more of a vision. We have better idea of where we need to go, what players we're playing, what style we're playing, and I think we can all see that. I think we can all see who we're trying to hit, what we're trying to do. And unfortunately for us, our opposition can see that too. So things do need to change week to week. Legs need resting, and we need to try new things. However, I would, for the most part, keep with what we're doing. Other than potentially, I wouldn't want to see TC start. I wouldn't want to see him out there from the start because, again, we'll just end up with a tired Tyrese Campbell, and we never want a sleepy boy on the pitch like he has been. So, yeah, I say keep with what we're doing, keep the momentum up, keep the pressure we have had. And yeah, it's a 6-point win, really.
And your score prediction, Kieran?
Score prediction. Call me bold. Fortune favours the bold. 2-0.
2-0. Okay.
James, and no,
James
I won't leave
TC
TC alone. No, I won't leave him alone. I love the guy.
He's going to Snapchat him after and say we were talking about him.
I'm not going to do that.
Don't tell him that I was talking about him. It's fine.
I will.
I know you will. Tyler, I'll come to you. What are you making a trip, Tyler?
No, I'm missing this one.
We're going to win then. That's good.
Come on,
Stay home, Tyler. Stay home.
4 away games this season, 1 win and 3 draws. Come on.
That's not bad going. When I saw you there on the train yesterday, I thought, oh no, he's back. And you were drinking Peronis, not Stella. I was like, what is going on?
I fancied a bottle, and they were the only bottles I had.
But you've got a can of Stella there with you, haven't you?
I do, yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I fancied a bottle. I fancied a switch up. I had Stella's in the pub on the way in Eastleigh, but yeah.
What are you thinking and your score prediction?
Yeah, I'm kind of torn with this lineup because it is a Tuesday. I'm kind of debating with striker between TC and Leeburn, right wing back between Ramsey and Clark, and right centre back between Ramsey and Sichenje. Everyone else, I think, picks itself. The rest of that, I don't know. Is it, part of me thinks against an out of form West Brom, actually starting TC from the off might actually be to our benefit. Just run at him and see what he can do. If we can get him the ball and if he can run at him. If not, I'm starting Leeburn next to Dykes because Kelman is so out of form right now. I just don't know if he's going to offer something next to Dykes. So it's between him and TC. Can Sichenje play on a Tuesday night? Is a question I have. But if he can, I probably would stick with him. And then Ramsey or Clark, either I don't mind, and the rest of the team keep the same. It's a 6-pointer. I think it's a must win. I think if we win, to be honest, I think I've got full confidence that we stay up. West Brom are out of form. I've seen the form they're currently on. It would be very Charlton of us for them to go and win this, if we're being honest. But I'll go with
December's their last win.
Yeah, well, there you go. Very Charlton for it to end on Tuesday.
It's been a while since they've won. We're outplaying them, so I'm sure we'll do well.
Yeah, but I'll keep the faith and go with an optimistic 2-1. I'm going to go goals from Dykes and Sichenje. Why not?
Sichenje in the 90th minute. And the crowd goes wild.
Yes, 90 plus 7, actually. Get it right.
Callum, I'll come to you next.
I think it might be a bit too defensive a side to play at West Brom. I think you want to run at West Brom. One thing to note about West Brom, their wing backs are very, very slow. / attacking. So whichever one they choose, there's going to be space down the sides. I would probably bring Clark in and move Ramsey back. Sichenje did go down with cramp at the end of that game. The one thing to note too is they had so much possession. Southampton, it is knackering to play without the ball. So that does concern me slightly. But I think by the end of the second half, we weren't exactly laboured. So I think we were okay. I think that's all I do is I bring Clark in at right back and I'd move Ramsey back to right centre back. Other than that, the rest of it picks itself. You win this, you're 10 points. You could be 10 points clear if Leicester don't get anything at Middlesbrough away. With 12 games to go, you've still got the voucher at Sheffield Wednesday to cash. So you're probably looking at it and going, it's 11 in a row they've lost now. So you're looking at that, and you're probably going, at that point, you're going to need 2 wins. You've still got Oxford away. You've got Norwich at home. You've got Bristol City at home, who are in and out of it. You've got Preston at home. You've got, there's points there. So I think if you win that tomorrow, thank Christ we can say we're basically there. But I think we're trending towards there anyway. I don't know if you'll notice the number of almost nobody is predicting us to go down. And that's because 7 points at this point is
not anymore.
No, most people weren't even at the time. I can tell you, I was chatting to fans in January. But now the thing is that gap is so big that you'd need 4 teams to overtake you. Norwich probably, but the others can be in and out. So anyway, that's where I stand with it. Prediction, yeah, I'll take a 2-0. I'll take a 2-0. We can join them in singing he's getting sacked in the morning, and hopefully have a good trip home. I will go. Should I go with? Just to annoy Emma, I'm going to go with a TC goal, and I will go with. It was going to happen. And I'll
when
go
the
with
samba rhythm starts to play,
dance with me, make me sway. I've gone. You set me up.
No,
You know what? Just to annoy Emma even more,
We'll
I'm
have to
actually I'll
see.
go with TC double. Just to make him our
TC
second top
breaks,
scorer,
come
just
on.
to make it really
Bring it on.
annoying for you.
Roll on
Come
Tuesday
on.
night. Woo.
I'll be going to get a beer in the concourse. And Paul, lastly, I'll come to you.
If TC gets the breath, I was streaking down the concourse anyway. Don't hold me to that.
Oh, no,
It's not
I
safe.
think that's on video now. You made a
Yes,
mistake.
of course it is. I didn't know when.
I'm
but
not
anyway,
going.
no,
I'm
you're not
taking
getting
mine.
let.
it's funny off what Kieran said about Danny Hilton. I said, forget XG, we want X-rated. But anyway, I digress. Yeah, I mean, given the manager's propensity to go for if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I wonder if he'll carry on, have the same lineup actually. But I can perfectly understand, the points that others have made. But I wonder if he'll just carry on. He'll just have the same starting 11. In terms of score, well, hopefully they don't sack Ramsey beforehand because we can't. We last thing we want to do is manage. But I wonder if we're going to do the old Grim Reaper again and send another manager onto the sort of the dole queue or whatever. I'll go for probably a 2-0. I have to jump on the Sichenje bandwagon and say Collins to score at some point. But yeah, TC. Yeah, I think Collins and TC is my bet. That's usually wrong. So that's what I'm thinking, Emma.
And
Don't jinx me, Paul.
And
Sorry.
don't forget that if TC scores a brace, you've got to go to the concourse to see Paul streaking.
Yeah, I didn't say that. I didn't say Tuesday. Anyway,
That's
no.
not happening. That is not happening.
He'll get more views on.
Mankind and people's eyesight.
He'll get
From
more views
everyone
on.
at the Charlton Chronicles, that is not happening. We promise you.
It's not happening. It's not happening because he's scoring a hat trick now.
Please.
TC, if you're watching, you've got to score more than 2.
He's not watching.
Please, I beg.
Or less than 2. Yeah, whatever.
I'll get more views than your video from Fratton Park, Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord, don't. Oh, dear. Yeah.
So it's all gone Pete Tong again. But look, guys, that is it for tonight for us because I'm going to watch Love Island. Don't hate.
I love Love Island.
Streaking. Yeah.
Excellent. So listen, these guys were amazing. Thanks to Paul, thanks to Callum, thanks to Tyler, and thanks to Kieran. Don't forget to check out our show on Wednesday at 8, where we will be back to review the West Brom game and look ahead to our home game against those Welsh Wallies.
Worst home game of the season.
Worst home game of the season where we get all the plastics
Ollie,
out
we'll
in
see.
full force.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, my prediction's 2-0 as well, but I'm going for a Lloyd Jones header and a Sonny Kerry banger. That is what I'm, because I've got ginger hair
Tyrese Campbell
too.
hat.
The Auburn genius.
So, yeah. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Go hit our Twitter page because, 100,000 views isn't enough for me. I want 200,000. So don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you guys on Wednesday. Thanks for watching, and to our Kenyan friends, thank you for watching too. And don't worry, we've got your man, and we will make sure he's eating a good breakfast.
And we'll
all
see you
soon.
for a show in June from Nairobi.
Yeah. See you later, guys. Thank you.
Take care, guys.